What is that you're drinking, Alice?
Homemade linseed juice.
Is that wine?
It's homemade linseed juice.
Who drinks homemade linseed juice?
People that don't like soda.
Okay. All right.
It's gotten too fizzy for me.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you nervous?
No.
You're not nervous?
No.
I'm nervous.
We've done like 3, 4, 5 videos already. I don't know how many we've done. I forgot. I lost.
So you're a pro now.
No, I'm not saying that. I haven't been in a lot of the videos. I've just.
You've been skipping on my videos?
Well.
It's like skipping school, you're skipping work, only now you work at YouTube, so you're skipping YouTube?
No,
Seriously?
No. Like,
Seriously?
Like the tutorials. Like, I don't do those because I'm pretty sure that would mess up a lot.
Okay.
You're the master of tutorials in this house, okay?
So what's the topic of the day?
Can you do woodworking in an apartment?
Can you do woodworking in an apartment? What do you think? Short answer.
Yes.
Wait. Wrong answers only.
No.
No?
Well, you said wrong answers only. So it would be no.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do this.
Okay.
We're gonna start again. So. Oh, should I introduce myself?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Mauri, and this is Alice. She's my right hand, my sidekick, my everything. Aww. And the topic for today is going to be...
Can you do woodworking in an apartment?
Can you do woodworking? Well, can you?
Yes, you can.
Really? Is that your final answer?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see. I mean, I think it's doable. It's doable.
It's doable.
Yeah. Let's see. What we got?
So let's talk about what to consider.
Okay.
Do you have to worry about sound or the time you do the work?
The sound or the time? Absolutely. Like, for instance, my neighbor is a nurse, so I know she comes home around what, 8?
Yeah, I think
in the morning?
8.
And then she probably wants to rest. And I think she may have called on us maybe once for noise.
Yeah.
In the very beginning.
Yeah, when we first moved here, like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah. So since then, I try to do it later in the afternoon so that she can get, a good number of hours of rest. And so the time of the day and, if you're going to make a lot of noise, you have to kind of like plan it ahead. You know what you're going to be doing. So if you know there's a moment that you're going to be doing a lot of noise and it's already like too late in your day, you may want to hold that part of the project until like the next day.
Yeah.
And do it early in the morning or later in the afternoon, whenever it's better for you and your neighbors or your roommates, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, is space an issue?
Space. What do you think?
Yeah. Because, just having me before we had my little brother, it was already an issue for space, and it was just me as a kid with a lot of toys. And now with my little brother Max, it's like his toys get more space since he's a toddler, so he needs like more things that are safe, and most of the things that are safe are like really big, because small things he could choke on and do stuff, so they take up more space. So with your tools, like your saws and your workbenches that you use, it's really hard to find a space that's like convenient for you to work on, work with, and then for him not to like be able to climb in and get on it and do something.
Or touch it. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of times I've had like really big projects and it was kind of hard to work around it because then the couch is right there or the dining room table is right there.
Yeah.
Or I had to move furniture out of a room so I can keep it there for a couple of days or so I don't get anything else stained. I think also like the size of the project, it makes you think whether you want to take big projects or you have to plan it ahead more carefully. And
And with all of your equipment as well for the tools, like to fix them up or like for their care.
right,
And like when
yeah,
you're painting, you have a tarp. That takes
right,
up a lot of space, and you have
right,
two of them.
yep.
So, and those are thick and bulky.
So I think I wish I had more space at
Yeah.
times when I do woodworking in the apartment. But if you plan it out really well, I think you know what table to use or what furniture to move away or which room to use it in. If you can get a dedicated room, great. That's fabulous. I can't do that because if I had an extra room, I think we would.
Make it your little shop. So,
I'll probably make it a playground for the kids rather than do the woodworking.
yeah, you would probably have like a backyard for that, or like the garage.
Yeah, if I could get into a house,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, I definitely have to take care of the. I think ahead about the space, and it is an issue. It
Yeah.
definitely is an issue.
So, does the size and weight of a project matter?
Yes. Well, because of the space matter that we were talking about, but I also live in the third floor of an apartment building. So every project that I work on, I actually have to bring
Pick
it up.
3 flights of stairs.
Right. So I have a hand truck. I can't ask her for help. I can't ask anybody else in the house for help. My neighbors are not very neighborly, not in this area. So God knows I've taken like wardrobes or armoires.
Like that right behind us,
Well,
you
that's
carried with my mom's help a little bit.
I
You
did,
picked it up
yeah.
2 flights of stairs, and then you had to have my mom's help
Yeah,
for the last one.
and then like once you're done with whatever the project is,
You need to take like a day's worth of rest.
so yeah, I mean
Exhausted.
you do get exhausted and you waste a lot of energy, but then once you're done with the project, you also have to now take it back down and
Yeah.
deliver it if it's for somebody else.
Yeah, or help
Um,
them bring it down if they're coming in.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, where do you store your tools?
So, I've seen some people that they have like a room that they where they have all their tools, but like I have storage under my couch. It's one of those that you raise up and it turns into
A bed.
a bed. So it has huge spaces underneath the couch where you can store. And then I used to have another one of those couches in my bedroom, so that was another storage spot. So I don't like to have tools out for visitors to see. I do
And-
have some that are in displayed as art.
Yeah.
I do, yeah, like this one is out
Yeah.
in open view. My mallet that I handmade is also in open view, but most of my tools are not pretty to look at. So you can find them underneath my bed. You can find
your
them in my
closet.
closet.
Yeah.
I
In,
do
like,
have.
a bunch of chests that you have.
I
You have,
use
like, 4
chests,
chests.
and whatever I use, it has to be like concealed so that my toddler cannot get into it
Oh, yeah.
and
That's-
cannot
well,
reach it.
Yeah. 'Cause you have,
Where
like,
else do I have tools, or where do I not have tools? I guess the bathroom is like a safe room where I don't have tools.
Yeah, and like under the table, because we have a little compartment under the table.
We
The-
do have like a utility closet in the
Yeah.
hallway by the bathroom, and that's where we have like shelvings with cubbies and all of our screws, all of our
nails, some drill bits, some driver bits,
or pliers,
our screwdrivers,
the
drills.
drills.
Jinx.
You owe me a Coke. Oh no, I owe her a Coke. Then we do have a storage unit. I don't really keep too much in this storage unit. I may have some dowels.
Probably.
Um,
But we usually keep like picnic tables. My little brother, he has like 2 huge boxes of unopened cars that was a gift from somebody, and
Oh
it's just
yeah,
like a ton, and they're like
we have a lot of.
Coca-Cola cars, I think.
We have a Coca-Cola toy collection in our storage, so
Yeah.
we don't
And we
we
have
don't
a
have too
few on
much.
display.
We don't have too much space for tools in the storage.
Yeah, no.
But
Along with
but
the
if
Christmas
anybody
tree and
came and
stuff.
visit my home, they would not. 95% of the time, they would not even know that I have any tools at all. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Okay. How do you take care of the wood dust?
The wood dust.
Yeah.
Um, we do have the. I used to have a shop vac, but that's one that I use somewhere else now, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. I did find out that one of our vacuums is strong enough to suck up everything. So, like, if you do any woodworking, we end up, or I end up, taking a lot of time to set up the area that I'm going to be doing any work at, and then bringing in the tools. So by setup, I mean, like moving furniture away and
Protecting
getting
the
a work
furniture.
table, protecting furniture.
The carpet.
And then I bring out my tools and then whatever materials I need, or,
And along the way, we just get more tools from the utility closet near the bathroom. because
Yeah.
There's a ton of stuff in there, and sometimes we don't even know what we need.
Yeah.
Like with uh, your your saw that we had to fix last time, we had to keep getting tools from the closet.
Oh,
And
the
it wouldn't work.
are you talking about the really old antique one?
Yeah, the one in your closet.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Were you ever afraid your kid might use your machines?
Well, at different times, I actually had different machines,
Yeah.
and by that I mean like a table saw or a band saw, and there are a lot of other medium-sized machines that I brought into the apartment, and they have like a emergency or a safety kill switch.
Yeah.
So the on-off switch is like red, and it's an on-off, but in the middle of it there's like a little yellow
red.
insert
There's another one that's
where if you pull that out, it's a key.
Yeah.
And then like if your kid turns it on, it'll actually not turn on because
If it's in, it won't.
the
turn
key
on.
is not in the machine.
Oh, yeah.
So that would give me a lot of
Help with it.
peace of mind.
Yeah, because he would think it's a button and he would try to press it. Like I've seen him try to press it before.
Yeah, and whenever I tried to make sure that my machines were out of reach of him, and I usually would only have like one of those machines in the apartment. I would bring it in for a specific project, but he would always get his hands on it. So I would have to position it in a way that it was safe
Or like
for
put it somewhere
him.
really high up.
Yeah,
Like, we have a
or
tower
put
in my
like
bedroom.
a bigger piece of furniture before it so that he couldn't reach it. But even if he reached it, it was always unplugged. And if for whatever reason he would plug it in, I would always make
Like you would
sure
always
that I
be, like,
that I would
surveilling
take.
that thing.
That's true too, but I would always make sure that I would take that key, the safety key, with me, and that made me feel like it was fine.
Yeah.
And they also had like, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like a cover, so that the blade or the band saw was always like covered and protected, so that even if he had his hands around there, there was nothing for him to
Yeah, like
get
on your
caught.
circular saw, it actually has like a huge cover.
A shield, yeah,
Yeah.
shroud. I think it's
Yeah.
what it's called. So.
Okay. Any issues or concerns with your roommates?
Well, I think you have to be considerate because, like, for instance, when Rosie comes home, by the time she comes home, well, when she would leave to work, I wouldn't have anything out. Once she stepped out, that's when I would start setting up the area. And then by the time she would come back, she would not find any tools 95% of the time,
Yeah, 'cause
unless
my
it was
mom
like a
does not
big
like
project.
messes,
Most
and
most people don't. And I think a lot of people, like, if they're married, their wives are like, no, you can't have that there. I think Rosie is very tolerant. She tells me she doesn't mind. She doesn't act like she minds. But just because she doesn't mind, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna have stuff like laying around.
Yeah.
So a lot of the, like, I always tell her, if you came here like half an hour ago or
Yeah.
earlier, this place would be completely different.
Yeah, because with my little brother, we sometimes can't even catch up to him, so he's always like making messes all over the place, and then we have to clean it up,
Right.
along with like um, after lunch. Sometimes she comes home early, and sometimes we have lunch a little bit late, so I have to do the dishes fast, and then sometimes you have like a project that is in the sink, and there's like, let's say I made juice, like this one.
Oh,
You have a
right. Like when I
project.
need, like if I need to clean
Yeah.
a paintbrush and I need the sink.
Yeah. Or
So,
like when you clean something rusty, you have to
right.
clean it up fast because if my mom sees that in the
Oh, yeah, she would not like that. So, yeah, you have to like clean whatever tool you were using, and then you have to clean the sink. So by the time she comes home, or by the time one of the kids needs to reach anything in the kitchen, there's nothing sharp, and everything is put away. If you have roommates, you have to be considerate of their living space as well. So I guess I have to be very sneaky about the times when I do it so that they don't notice. And a lot of times it's really nice that by the time Rosie gets home, a project is already made and completed, and she's like, "Oh wow, that looks really nice," and then she appreciates it as opposed to it being a headache
headache.
coming home, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah,
like a bunch of tools just everywhere, and
laying
like
around.
she's having a hard time going around it.
Yeah.
Can you share what type of projects you have done?
What type of projects I have done? Well, why don't you tell me a few?
um,
It's in your list.
oh. Okay, so you've made my little brother a wooden robot out of wood and thick yarn that we called show carpensen
Oh, right.
because because my little brother used to say, like when he was an infant, he would say show, and that's what you say sometimes when you're trying to get him to
Get
when
his
you're
attention.
waking up.
I used to do that every day.
Yeah.
I used to go like, so it's the one of the first noises, if you want to call it. We said it was a word, but it's not a word. So he would say show when he was a little baby.
Yeah.
So I would wake up every
get
morning and I
attention.
say show to get his attention, and then he would hear it and he knew that was awake.
Yeah.
So
And
when
he
I
would
made him
go
the
running to you.
yeah, so when I made that little robot, it was so cute,
We
and
were thinking about a word and
a
to
name.
name it, and we were like,
I couldn't come up with one.
yeah. And then for the last name, Carpensen, is because, well, you're a carpenter. So
Right.
it
And
makes sense.
and you have to be like, it's the son of the
Yeah.
carpenter, right? So it was Carpinson,
Yeah.
and the first name was Show, so Show Carpinson.
Yeah.
And he had like a square body, a square face, and it was made out of wood.
And you added a little bow tie as well.
That was
With
that
marker.
drawn?
Yeah,
It was
with
drawn with a marker.
Yeah, it was
And
so
the
cute.
eyes were screws.
Yeah, there were screws.
Yep. And the arms were
Little wooden blocks. From-
attached with like a yarn,
Yeah.
right?
And
like
knots.
rope. And he
Undid
butchered
them.
it a
So
good number
now-
of times.
So now he's missing an arm.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, he's always
We're
missing
gonna find
something.
it, but
He's always missing something.
Yeah.
He belongs to a toddler. It's going to be damaged. All right.
yeah, and he's had it for like 2 years now. I know you have painted and stained or furnished some furniture.
Yeah, I have brought into the apartment. Well, my entire bedroom set has been painted by me and refinished. So that was a lot of sanding, and that's one time when I couldn't keep up with the dust, and I think it was too much time of just running the sander. And I also didn't like that I was making so much noise. It was too big of a project, I think. So at the time, I needed to do it, and I had the time to do it, so I did it. But I think now, if I had to do it again, I would do it not in my apartment.
Yeah, and there are a lot of projects that would scare my little brother because of all the loud noises
When he
all of a
was
sudden.
when he was
Yeah.
little,
Like
so
the
he could.
vacuum used to petrify him, but now that he's gotten a little bit older, he's gotten used to it and he's able to come into the room. Although he
Right.
still covers his ears,
Right.
he
So
comes in and he just talks very loud because
he's usually not in the room whenever
Vacuuming
whenever I was
or-
doing projects, but you can't always avoid him being there. Then I've um, I've not only refinished by sanding those pieces of furniture, but I've also painted them.
Yeah.
I have stained a few of them. I have done some custom work for some friends. So it's something that I like to do because I think it introduced me to the different tastes of different people.
Yeah.
And in the beginning, I would just take whatever piece of furniture I thought I liked, or I
Like
thought I
whatever
could make it look good,
paint, like-
make it look good.
Yeah, and you would like envision how it would look like, and then you would like take colors that you
Yeah.
thought would look good together.
Yeah. Now I really stay away from big furniture because if I ever made it up here with it, knowing that you're going to have to
Bring it back.
bring it back down eventually. Like if it's for us, I know it's gonna be here for a while. But if
Yeah.
it's for somebody else, unless I'm getting some help, no.
Yeah, because you could possibly drop it if you're trying to like a lot of the furniture that you have to like wait like
You
one-
gotta be more confident on like my strength and like I've never dropped any. I mean, like, yes, I've dropped my baby a few times, but
Wait.
nobody knows about that. Oh my God, did I just say that out loud?
What?
But my furniture, I would never drop my furniture.
Hey, what?
I did drop you a few times as well, right? Did you know about that? Maybe you didn't.
No. What? Okay.
You've been dropped.
Wait.
I'm joking.
You better be. Okay, have you done inlays?
I have done inlays. So remember when we were talking about show?
Yes.
There was another word that Max made up when he was a baby, and it was "toi." It was actually like the first noise that he ever
Yeah.
said. You know,
That's the
that
only
was
thing he would say. So if he wanted oranges, he'd say toy. If
So-
he wanted like milk, he'd say toy.
well, not "toi" but "toi."
Yeah.
It was like a bounce of the lips, like "toi." He sounded Vietnamese. That sounds Vietnamese, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Huh.
When he was a baby, he used to sound
And
a lot
your
like
mother did have a
Japanese-ish.
Vietnamese co-worker at that time.
Really?
No, I'm joking. Okay, but so I inlaid the word "tui" in my furniture. I have a secretary desk that is part of the whole set,
Yeah.
and I know I'll never sell that. So
Yep.
because I did it, that was a project that I worked on as soon as Max was born. So what I did is I routed out the three letters TUI, well, and
And you had like a little slash on top.
right, and
Cute.
the accent, and then I took, gosh, what metal is that?
I forgot. I don't know. But you melted it?
I melted it, and
And
then I poured it
you
into the
crushed.
grooving,
Yeah.
and then I sanded
I
it
was
flat.
amazed with
It
how
looks
you did
beautiful.
that.
I like it.
does.
I need to do more of that, but it does take a lot of time.
Yeah, it does.
And
It did.
it was kind of bizarre because like to sand metal, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It took a long time.
I've done inlays.
Yeah, and then we had to go over with the paint because we did the painting first.
That was
and
so
then
hard. That
yeah.
was so hard because like if, when you sand the inlay, you remove the edge, the paint
Yeah,
out of the
so
edges.
We had to like carefully
repaint
do it
it.
without painting the metal.
Isn't that when we used like your art brushes,
Yeah.
the really little ones?
yeah, my
That's when you asked
baby-
for your 10. Well, at
At
that
the-
time you
at-
were like 8-year.
I was-
Your
yeah, I was like
8-year-old
8.
daughter's art brushes, so you can finish your work.
Yeah, we did it. Like I wasn't 7 because at that time Maxie wasn't.
Maybe.
Like a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or probably I don't know. Okay. Have you done some wood burning?
Well, let's see. Have I ever done some woodworking? Look how beautiful. I made this little horse. Wait, that's not. I didn't make it, did I?
No, my mom did.
So this is something that Rosie made. This is a horse, and she does some great stuff. So I've made
Yeah.
some coasters with her
Yeah, you
and some
made
other
one for
stuff.
me
Um,
based on a
I've made some from
series.
scratch. This one, I think it was something that we purchased the material and it was basically almost already done.
Yeah.
But then she has done the woodworking, the wood burning,
Yeah.
and I like it. I got into it, and that's how she got into it. But she's better than me, and I think this is more like a. For me, it was a hobby. I'm not going to show you any of the pieces that I have attempted to do because they're not,
Attempted.
yeah, they're not good.
Yeah.
But for her, it's not a hobby.
It's a skill.
It is a skill, but she also does it to relax. She just wants
Yeah.
to like
Like she
relax
watches
at
her little
home.
series, and then like there's a series that she's in love with.
She watches TV. What
Yeah.
is that?
Grace.
Grace
Grey's Anatomy.
Anatomy.
There you go.
She has to watch
Then
that,
she's cooking.
and then she goes into her wood burning, and then she's good.
Yeah. How did you hang our TVs?
So like
That one that's on the
that
wall.
one right there,
Wait, let me move
and
it.
I have another one in my bedroom. So I didn't buy the hardware. I actually cut pieces of wood, so like a 1x4 or um, maybe a 2x4. No, that would be too thick. It was a 1x4 or a 1x3 actually, I
Yeah, I
think.
think so.
And
That sounds about
that was kind of interesting because when I was working in the apartment at that time, I didn't have the table saw, and what I needed
You
to
weren't
do.
as advanced as you are now.
Well, no, I didn't have the tool.
Yeah.
It was a table saw that I didn't have, and I needed to make a 45-degree angle the length way of the board so I can do a wood cleat. So a French cleat,
Yeah.
yeah. So what I had to do is I did that by hand
Yes,
with
you
my
did.
saw,
Yeah, with your hands on.
and I
I
remember
think it was the yellow, like the one with like the yellow,
handle.
yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
like the.
Oh, with the miter box, the
Yeah,
yellow
that
plastic
one.
miter box.
Yeah, I think so.
I've used that miter box as well in the apartment, but for that project, I think I did it differently, not with the miter box. But it was super hard to do the one in my bedroom because I didn't use the table saw. So when I was using the handsaw, I didn't like the amount of noise that I was making, and I had to consider my neighborhood. So my neighbor. So what I did is I realized that if I oiled the saw blade right before using it, it actually becomes smoother, and I didn't spend so much energy, and it was quieter. So I just like to do little things like that that were considerate to my neighbors. This one, I used the table saw and just ripped it, and so much easier. It was so much easier.
So you have built tools, haven't you?
Yes, yes.
Can I show
So yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So
My mallet.
this beautiful mallet, he handmade it. It's very pretty. He added leather on this side and then just the plain wood here. So this is for things that you can't damage, but
Yeah.
like you can't hit it too hard. So it's like a pillow.
It's a soft hit,
Yeah,
a cushioned hit.
and we use this mostly for walnuts because my little brother loves smashing walnuts. He doesn't
I don't
care
know what
with
she's
which
talking
side.
about, but I use it for woodworking. I did not know until this moment that they were. You guys use this on walnuts? Shame on you! Shame on you
Well, we don't have
guys!
anything else to
The
open
nerve!
the walnuts. We don't have the nutcracker.
Yeah.
So-
No, well, Max loves to use my
Yeah.
mallet,
And I love
and
this-
he loves to use it on the walnuts, so he uses it.
So
on
you
there.
did it so that the handle would be comfortable
Yeah.
with how you hold it. I forgot how you hold it. I don't know. I haven't held this in a while.
And this is something actually I made
It looks like a
with
tree.
hand planes
Yeah.
by hand, including the 45-degree angle edges
And
to
it has
give
a
it
foot.
soft edges.
It has a foot. Just 1 foot because it's not a human. It doesn't need to.
So you can either whack somebody with it or you can kick them with the little foot. But
Yes, 'cause that's definitely the use for this.
that is the specific use to whack kids or kick them in the butt. So,
That's wrong.
but I used 1x3s. These were actually like bed. What are they called? Anyways, they go under your mattress, and
What?
I glued them together, and then I had to make that hole by
With
hand.
a little. I forgot what saw you used, but it was like a small, mini, little, like the ones that you use for your jigsaws, but it's like a small jigsaw.
Well,
I think you did use your jigsaw.
No, not on that. Not on
No?
this. This was completely hand tools. It was with my chisels.
Oh yeah.
I did it with the chisels.
That was so difficult. You had
Yeah,
to use
it
your
took
other
forever.
hammer. I don't know which. You did not use that one. You got the one
Yeah.
after this.
So this was like a really, really good project because I had to make everything flat and smooth with hand planes, and then the cuts were done by a handsaw, and you had to chisel out the opening, and I can't remember what coating I used on it, but when I had just made it, it was gorgeous. But a lot of people will make mallets in woodworking, and they're so pretty that they don't use them.
Nope.
And I think that's a sin because
You're wasting wood on it on something that you won't even use for anything other than decoration. But like, how important is decoration?
well, to me, it was more like it's a tool, so I should use it as such.
Yeah.
And I take the joy out of being able to say, "Hey, I made it." I'll tell you, this had a nut right here,
Yeah.
and I called it the on-off button, and I used to keep it on it. And then I just took it off, and I actually love how that looks.
Yeah, my little brother used to play with it, and he tried to actually put it on
I
his
think
robot, but it didn't work.
It's part of how beautiful it is. It's got a
It's what
like
makes
a
it look
little
like a tree for me.
branch that was inserted in the wood, and then when I cut it, it split it in half, and I think that looks really pretty. It did when it was brand new, and I thought from whacking wood and doing joints, if I used it too hard, I thought that that would break. And let me tell you something. Here's the proof. I have used it with all my strength,
Yep.
and it has
And so
not.
has my little brother.
Oh, well, and so has Max,
he's able to crack the walnuts
3-year-old.
like
So
two
if
cracks,
it
so.
if it survived his wax, then that tells you everything. And that's the leather side that was glued on.
The
And that's
mini
like if
pillow.
you don't want to make an indentation in the wood,
Yeah.
then you use this side. But this is what other tools did I make? I also made my bench bull. My bench bull, that was amazing. If you don't know what a bench bull is, you Google it. So it took a lot of work and a lot of time, and it has bench dogs as well.
Yeah.
And that's so I can grab stuff that I'm working with to cut, and it works like a clamp. And
know
I
another tool
also,
that you made.
which one?
The one in the blue box that it's like a chisel.
Oh,
wooden
the
chisel.
wood scraper. Yeah, I made a
Yeah.
little scraper tool. So I've made a few. Another one is my shooting board. Again, that's when you work with hand planes and you want to make perfect
Oh, wow, that's pretty.
edges. You take it after you've cut it in a 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle. Then you take it to the shooting board and you make it into a really, really clean edge. But I have not only just made my own tools, but I've also restored tools. This is one of them. This is a hand plane that it was completely broken and completely rusted out,
It
and
looks really bad.
it looked really bad.
It gone through a lot,
And the bottom was not flat at all.
and
And
it's beautiful now.
if you can, I don't know if you can tell, but
No, the light is from the windows. Like,
let me just tell you, this is completely 100% flat.
and fun fact, this matches our whole apartment because our whole
Yeah.
apartment theme is blue and like a little bit of black, sometimes like a little bit of brown and orange.
And the orange. So it has a blue stain, wood stain
Yeah.
to it, and it's actually
really pretty.
the theme color for my hand tools. I've also restored antique electrical tools with motors and
Yes,
everything.
like your sharpener over there is also
Oh yeah,
stained
hand
blue
crank,
and painted
um,
orange.
grinding stones
Yeah. You
that I
cleaned
used
that out. You
to,
took it apart, I think, to
yeah,
clean it out.
painted it.
And you even have like this weird tiny little clamp that you have to like use a
Another antique tool.
yeah, like what's it called? The the
That
the one that has like the little ear looking things that you have to screw it in. I forgot the name of it, but it's like an animal name, I think.
oh, the butterfly nut.
Yeah, that one.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
so cool.
It's a jeweler's clamp, but I love restoring tools, and it has taught me a lot about carpentry as well. Believe it or not.
Yeah, you liked a lot. You like a lot of like antique stuff.
Hmm.
So we go to a lot of pawn shops and antique stores, and like everything there is like so interesting. Like,
Yeah,
every
it tells
time-
a story.
Yeah, and every time we see a tool, I'm like looking at it, but I don't want to touch it because it's
I mean,
so dusty.
this thing was completely worn off.
Yeah.
You could not make anything flat with it. Not only was the metal
Yeah.
blade not straight, but also the sole of the plane.
Yeah.
And you know that whoever used it for years. I wonder if like they built a house,
think you- I
or did they use it to build a
lot
boat?
of the
What did
antique,
they do with it? You know.
but a lot of the antique tools that you get, I know that you like Google from where they are from, and I think that a lot of them are like from the 1950s and up.
I actually have older ones from like 1910s, 1920s, 1930s.
That's older than my great grandma.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this one is somewhere between 1930 and 1950s, if I'm not mistaken. Um, yeah.
Well, okay. So what shelves have you done?
I've done some floating shelves. I know in the dining room I also have like pallet wood. I broke down the pallet wood and I made like square
I really like
um,
it. It looks really nice.
square shelves. Then like in you guys' room,
Oh yeah.
I've made some corner shelves that are rounded edge, and they fit right in the corner. And you know, Max has his Mickey Mouse toys,
And I have
and
my unicorns and and a tissue box that has unicorns. Thank
Yeah.
you, Mom.
yeah, and those have painted. These I left it rustic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your family birthday calendar.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Oh.
I really like it because whenever I forget whose birthday is next.
Wait. Tell them what it is.
Okay.
For
so-
those who don't know what a birthday calendar is.
So in our hallway, our hallway is like an L. On this side, to the right, there is this like rectangle piece of wood that we painted like an American flag kind
Right,
of.
so
but
blue,
it's like stars.
red, and
yeah.
white.
But
It
it
does
doesn't-
have the stars, doesn't
Yeah, it
it?
has
Yeah.
like 5 stars. And we have
Very patriotic.
we have I think string hanging
Yep.
from it. And on January, like we wrote the dates, like we wrote Jan, Feb, you know, like all the
The months.
all the months. And we put on little clips, like those little clips that like on a lot of cartoons you used to like
They're called cloth
clothes
pins.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
drying pins.
And
Oh.
different colors, because colorful.
Right.
I love colorful. And we wrote the names of the people that have their birthdays, and we wrote the day.
And
So,
you put it under their
yeah,
month.
So mine would be in November, and right next to my name, it would be 11.
Right.
Because that's my birthday.
Yep. And
And for my turtle, we put 4th of July, because we don't know her birthday, and it was one of the, I think, 2 months that don't have anything. So I wanted her to have like a month that I would just be waiting for her birthday, and like after her birthday, I'd still be like, yay!
Yeah.
I loved him.
So it's kind of cool because like I wanted something patriotic, and that did it, and it was also like very cute.
And colorful.
But like I have a problem where like I have to keep up with everything, and one thing that I don't keep up is like
Birthdays.
dates.
Yeah.
And so I was
You-
like,
some-
if I could just go walking down the hallway and look at it and say like, oh, it's Alice's birthday coming up next. It's so much easier because trust me, I've even forgotten my own birthday
Yes,
on my
you
birthday.
Have.
Yeah.
And like we were like we opened the door and we hugged you, and you were like, what? What's happening?
Oh, on my last birthday?
Yeah, and
I
I was
did.
like,
I
oh
did.
my
I seriously
God.
did forget my birthday.
Okay.
That's sad. That's very sad.
So, let's talk about the really nice keychain hook that you made. For
Oh, yeah.
all 3 keychains.
So I've made a rectangular keychain. So
Can I
it's
bring
it's
one?
it's basically a piece of wood, and it's a 1x3 by about this wide, and I soften the edges, and then you make slots for every keychain that you want to do, and then you hang your keychain out of each one of those slots with a string, and it's held by another piece of wood, so it goes into that slot and it hangs
Yeah.
your keychain. And each one of the little bricks is I'll probably like take a picture and put it at the end of the video so
Yeah.
that people can see it.
Yeah.
And then like it has like there's a place in South America called Tiahuanacu. So I don't know if it's the Incas or the Mayans. I think it's
Oh,
the
I love
Incans.
that.
So I had like they have different faces in their pyramids or their the landmarks.
I think it might be the
So
Mayas.
so what I did is I didn't wood burn it, but
You drew it.
I drew it, and Rosie helped me, and then we shellacked it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I love that name.
to put a finish on it, and it's been like really awesome because then if we're missing a keychain, we know because the slot is open,
Yeah.
and
So like right now my mom's at work, so there's one missing.
right.
Because she uses it for her car.
And then I before we shellacked it, I stained it with a blue stain because that's
Yeah.
one of the living room colors. So I think it's really pretty, and I think I'm going to make it again for like as a gift for somebody else.
Yeah. And then some of the list of toys that you made was obviously Joe Carpenton the robot.
Right.
Then the small catapult
Oh
that
yeah.
you made for Max. So,
So it's a small catapult. It's about this little, and you just
yeah.
put little toys in the basket, and then you shoot them
Okay,
out.
So the way we made it was
But that's a really simple. That's more like a.
yeah, like it's a really simple story. It's just we took popsicle sticks, we cleaned them, used rubber bands,
Yeah.
and then added a bottle top cover and stapled it on.
But it's like that kind of woodworking that like
Anybody can do.
anybody can do, and like
As long as
for
you
a
have- I think-
3-year-old, it
yeah.
makes you so happy because I've also made them like on a bandsaw. I've made some toys, and I've made some like little cards, and the wheels don't even spin.
No.
But let's talk about my planes too.
Your airplane.
Now my airplanes, they're really nice, and those are
Yes.
like, oh my
It
God.
took so long to paint though.
The painting is like the big
Yeah, 'cause
headache.
you have to make sure that it doesn't go onto the other side that you don't want the paint, like the
Right.
white, the red, the blue, and it's really horrible. Like
So
when you paint something red and then like you get it on a side that's supposed to be white, and then you try to paint over it, and you have to do
Yeah.
like a million coats, and it doesn't
so
work.
that's where you get into like templates, and it was used with different skills like the bandsaw, and you do a lot of sanding, and then we also had to use like so I had to draw and design how it was going to look before I made it.
Yeah, and we
so
still
it,
have one more to finish, and
and-
we still have the little I forgot what-
propeller.
Yeah, propeller things. But
Right.
We got the wings. We got the actual body.
Yep.
I like the design of them. They're really pretty.
Yeah, there's two of them. One is a fighter airplane, and the other one is just a kid's airplane, and he loves them both.
Yeah, he does. Okay, so how do you do your woodwork now?
Not in the apartment. Not in the apartment because I wanted to find a way where I could keep the dust away from where I live. And so what I did is I had a truck that I used because I moved a lot. And so what I did is I took down the shelves that were there and I actually turned it into a wood shop.
Yeah.
So now all my tools are there. I don't have to
It took
do.
like 2 years to organize the whole thing, get rid of some stuff, bring it back in,
Yeah.
then refill some stuff.
Yep. So
'Cause
before,
two
like,
certain events happened.
so before I used to have to like set up everything before I started and plug every machine. Now setting up is only about maybe 10%. So the other 90% is ready and there for me to use. And if I have dust and it's time to go to bed, I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about like, oh, I forgot to vacuum it. I can sometimes leave it there, or if I have certain tools out, they're not within reach for Max, and I just don't have to worry about anybody else or my neighbors, or where I leave my sharp tools.
Yeah. How is that better?
Well, I think we just answered that.
Yeah.
Like setting up time, dust control, or just mitigating with it.
Yeah.
Also, like the tools are more available.
Yeah.
So if you have like you might not want to get like a mobile truck to do it, but like if you rent a space or somebody's garage, or if you dedicate a room in your apartment just for that, then that's an awesome way to do it.
Yeah, and I remember you timed us to see how long it would take us to get everything ready, and it took 15 minutes, but that's because you set the timer a little bit late, so more like 20 minutes, because we had to get out. So he made a ramp.
Right.
That makes it easier to bring down his generator, because
Well, we have to power the
Yeah.
machines.
and once we're done bringing down the generator, we take a workhorse,
Mm-hmm.
the DeWalt workhorse, and then we slide it underneath so it makes
So
a table.
So to make a table,
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Or
That's-
work bench, or per se.
Yeah, and
So setup time has gone from 15. Well, now it's even shorter because
Yeah.
now we know how to do it in like 10 minutes.
yeah,
If
and
even.
we have like a whole schedule for everything.
That, yeah, we have everything set up. And like before, if I had a project, it probably used to take like an hour to set up and get it ready.
Yeah, but now that we have everything organized, we know like where everything is, and there's very very few times that we lose things, but that's because we haven't used
Misplace
them.
them.
Yeah,
Misplace.
them because
Nothing gets lost anymore.
No.
Because now, like, that space is super organized.
Yeah.
We have a spot for everything almost.
Yeah.
We're going to do videos so we can show them, like, what the mobile shop looks like in the
Yeah.
future.
What don't you like about your mobile shop?
Well,
I know something
it's
that
about
you
like
better.
it's about 8 feet by 10 feet,
Mm-hmm.
so it's still limited in space. So
But everything is dedicated to
I-
your tools. So
right. So I have a small workbench inside, and whenever I need to, I can extend one to the exterior. But you're still confined to a certain amount of space to work within the truck, and also, like if I need to do something for my home, then I have to take it to the truck, and then when I'm done with it, I have to bring it back into the house. So there is a lot of traveling between here and the truck, and I think and one thing that I don't like is like I would like to have a solar power system connected
Yeah.
to it. But right now I have to work out of a generator, so I don't have somebody's house that I can go and plug into. That would make everything so much easier. And it took me a few months to get to know intimately with my generator. So,
So-
knowing how to redo the,
Yeah, at first you would just keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and then
for about 30 minutes.
yeah, and then you'd be like
It was like a
tired to do
relationship with somebody where like, oh, today you're moody. You don't want to turn on for
Yeah.
me. Okay.
Okay.
You're the generator. Without you, I can't do anything. So
Yeah, except for like the tiniest projects that it'll take like 5 minutes and then we're done with every single project that we can do.
yeah, but
Um,
now it's like first pull, it turns on.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, but after you like pulled, there was a time where we had to like keep putting like starter fluid,
right.
and like you would need to do like a bunch of that and then pull
Yeah.
it and then be like more and then pull it.
And the other
And it
thing
was
is like that reminds me of like sometimes it was so hot that to pull start that generator used to be a pain in the tush. Especially like it's when it's like 95
oh my
degrees, we
god.
cannot do that.
No.
So
And then it went to like sanding the
oh yeah, we
yeah, which makes it faster because then 3 pulls and then it's on, which is
getting
way easier.
cleaning the spark plug and whatnot.
Yeah, and something that I don't like about the truck is that when we install something like the router, we just installed it and we learned that we have to be very careful on speed bumps because if not, so it's on a French cleat as well, and it has like a wood block underneath, so it's like more balanced. And so one time we forgot. No, we didn't forget. So the first time it just unhooked and it was just there, and then the second time it actually unhooked and went upside down, but nothing got damaged, thankfully.
Right,
And then from that day on, we had to be very careful
right.
because you realize that it was the speed bumps that we had to be extremely careful with.
Yep.
And it always scares me so much whenever I hear
Right.
something fall.
Well, whenever if you're working in the apartment, your tools are not just gonna magically fall off the shelf or
not gonna
from the
move.
trunk. It's not gonna move. But on the mobile shop, you have to think about bumps and you have to attach stuff in a way that they're not gonna fall.
Yeah. So, what's to come?
What's to come?
I
That
feel
that sounds like a scary
dramatically.
question. Like, so what is in your future? What do you see inside of the crystal ball?
What? A crystal ball.
What's to come? Well, I'm gonna be doing a lot of furniture paint projects. I really like that. I really enjoy it. That's kind of like, like Rosie. She likes to do the wood burning.
Yeah.
I like to do the
She's very
paint.
artsy.
She is very
And you're
artsy.
very painty and very woody.
Yeah.
Woody. And I'm very, well, he's trying to get me into sewing, which I'm more into sewing than leather, but he's always trying to get me into leather.
Yeah.
Leather is just more difficult. It's so thick. And there's different thicknesses, the different leathers. It's just
That's
really
mine. That's mine. But I also I love refinishing a piece of furniture and making it look pretty again. But there's a difference between doing that and then like actually doing artwork on your finish. So I haven't shown anybody any of that kind of work recently. So I think what I want to do is show you guys some of the work that I have that I can do. So I'm gonna be making them and doing videos where the finish is not just like, oh look, this piece of furniture is pretty, but you actually turn it into a canvas so that you can paint your art into it. And it just brings the two worlds that I like the most right now together. I want to do some tool reviews, and like I said, I like to do tool restorations. I want to do the reviews because a lot of people don't understand certain tools as well, and I would like to help them understand their tools better. I think if you spend a lot of time with your tools and you really dive deep into them,
Yeah, you spend like a week getting to know one tool.
right?
Like I remember this tool, it took you like, let's say, I think 3 days for you to like look at it, see what was wrong with it, see what you could fix, and then it took you like another 3-4 days to restore it and like paint it and stain it and like make sure that it works properly, then recheck.
Right.
And you have this thing that you say that don't tell me it can't be done, tell me how it can be done.
Right.
And you tell me that every single time that I say I can't do this. 'Cause
Right.
you're like, you need to find a way. And then
Right.
I end up finding a way that's super easy.
Yeah, so that was like that's a perfect example of like when I brought my table saw. I have a very small Black and Decker table saw because of the space confinement, and I remember um, looking for reviews on it, and I couldn't find anything that I could use. So I want to use. I want to do a review on that tool, and that's one that like a lot of people told me you're not going to be able to do this kind of work on it with that size table saw, because like my blade is like a 7.5 inches as opposed to like a 10 inch, and that's where that saying, like, don't tell me it can't be done, tell me how it can be done. So
Yeah.
I use my table saw for like all the projects, and it has never let me down. So um, yeah, I want to do some of that. Then I do have a Facebook page. It's called For My Vanity, so check us out. You can see some of the paintwork and furniture that I have done there. And I don't know if I have any woodworking stuff in
Nice.
there, but it's coming up. We're gonna put some woodworking stuff in there. One of the pieces that I'm working on is I've done a lot of cutting boards, and instead of making like some random design and just cutting it and seeing how it comes out and
Yeah.
oh, that looks pretty, or
Or
like, hey, Maury, can you do this? Yes, I can do it for you, and that's it. I actually wanted to do my own branding,
yeah,
so um,
it's coming up.
I came up with a set,
Hmm.
and I had to come up with the design. That's something that you don't want to copy from anybody else. So like I had to think about the curves, the edging, the type of wood, the way that
Yeah.
the wood is cut, the durability, and it's actually like it's going to be like a really nice set. It's going to be pricey because part of the thing is like, if not only
It's
is it going to
homemade
be,
and it's taking a lot of time to
well, it's going to
do.
be made out of like a very expensive wood, which is walnut. But
Oh, walnut
were
wood.
you with me when we
Yeah,
went
I
to
was.
shop?
They didn't have walnut. We have to
They're
come back in
not
like a
not on the
week,
cut,
right?
not on the type of cut that I need,
Nope.
so that the boards last longer. So not too many people make them out of the cut that I need. And when I requested them, they told us, look, we don't even have that in the
Come
list.
back in 2 weeks.
So we put in an order, and it's coming. It's in its way. So I
Yeah.
had to draw it, then transfer that to a cardboard, then cut that, and
And then like do details on how like you
trim it, and
yeah.
then now I'm
And you
gonna
still
use
have two
that.
more that you need to do, which are the circular ones.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those are going to. That's a different phase. So right now I want to kick off with 5, and they're going to be more of like the rectangular looking cutting
Yeah, there's
boards.
one that looks like the fancy sushi plates that you
Right.
get.
So you can bring in your
I
sushi
keep
or
making
or
fun of
your
that, but I
cheese,
really like. Oh, the cheese platters.
like a serving
Like cheese and crackers.
cut board. But it's exciting because it's like my baby. I'm designing it. You're doing the
Yeah.
drawing. You're doing the templates. You have to do your research on the type of wood that you can use, and yeah. So another thing that is going to be happening, I did enjoy doing woodworking in the apartment while Max was a baby, and I became a stay-home dad. So I do enjoy making toys. So I think I'm going to be making more toys. So maybe come up with a toy line as well. Right now I'm doing a pickler triangle for somebody, and
Oh.
it's the kind of stuff that. So it's a ladder on a shape of a pyramid, so that the baby can climb up in
Oh,
one side,
there,
and then you
that
put
one.
like a board on
Yeah,
the
I
side
thought I knew
for the
that.
baby to slide down if they want
Yeah,
to, or they can do little climbing and it's safe.
that sounds
So
really
and that's
fun.
the other thing. I'm going to be doing a lot of
That sounds like
custom.
a little mini baby version of like the Burger King playgrounds. Like they have the climbing
Yeah.
areas and they have the sliding.
Yeah, well, right now, because of COVID-19, a lot of parents don't
Yeah.
want to take their babies to, or
No.
their toddlers to playgrounds. So
Yeah,
they
we
go like,
haven't
hey,
gone
Maury,
to
can you do
playgrounds. We
this for
haven't
me?
gone to anywhere that public. Like if we go to parks, they have to be like those walking parks.
Right.
And I've actually made masks for all of you guys, and they're awesome.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
she
and
did
I
make
put
masks.
your initial on it because just because. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of custom work, and I don't think I would have gotten into it this deep had I not started woodworking in the apartment.
Yeah. So you can start from
If I
something really little and make it to like
it,
a
it
huge
if
thing.
I had said, hey, I'm making too much dust, or hey, there's not enough space,
Or like
or
this wood is too expensive. Like I'm never gonna sell this.
well, just
You know,
if I didn't
if you were in
do
the
all that
negative,
woodworking, yeah, if I was negative and not gone through with it, I think I would not have gotten to this stage. And because I did woodworking in the apartment, you learn more. Not that I didn't have the skills, but you learn more skills. Like I would not do um, hand tools before. Everything was like with machines, and I've grown as a carpenter, and so yeah.
yeah. What would you say to homeowners?
To homeowners, that's a good question. I think I would tell them, well, there was this guy that I bought the bandsaw from,
Hmm.
and he lived in a small house.
Oh yeah,
And
I think I know him. He had like the giant one as well, and he was just selling the small one.
I think so. So
Yeah, I
his
didn't
thing
understand.
was like, he kept on complaining about not having any space. And I was like, dude, I live in an apartment.
Don't complain about space if you live in a
Right.
house.
And then he had some stuff in his backyard, but he was like, I don't do too much because of the neighbors, or because there's no space. And I wish I had that backyard. So I wish I had the house, because that would open not only more opportunities, but it's a different tier. So I think if you're a homeowner and you think like, oh, I don't have the space because I don't have a room to dedicate to, don't tell me it can't be done. Tell me how it can be done, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, like, hey, just set it up in the middle of wherever you are right now, and then make sure you clean up before anybody gets home. And just don't say you can't do it. Just find out a way to do it.
Yeah.
And be safe. And if you have options and you can find a different place, go ahead. But if you're a homeowner, there's no reason why you can't do um, woodworking. I think it gives you more time, because like you don't have to, because you have more space, you have less setup time. So it gives you more time to dedicate to woodworking, where I had to dedicate a lot of time to setting up and taking stuff down, and most of all for cleaning up, because you
Right.
don't want to leave any dust when you work in an apartment. By the time anybody comes home, there's no dust in the air. How do you do that? It's magical. It takes time.
It is.
And then like you have more freedom to do more stuff. So yeah, I would, if you're a homeowner, my message would be, you're blessed. You
Yes.
should be able to do it.
Yes.
It can't be that.
Even if you live in a townhouse, it's still a house. It's still bigger than an
Yeah.
apartment. Like
A lot of them have basements,
yeah, or like more than one story.
small backyard.
Yeah, I have a friend that used to live in a 4-story, but now she moved to a 2-story
Hmm.
because her grandma goes in and out of the country. So you
Hmm.
know. What would you say to someone who is thinking about doing woodworking in an apartment?
Hmm. I don't know. I don't know. I think I would say, why do you want to do woodworking? I think if it's a hobby, I would say try to do it, but do it safe, because dust is very harmful to your health.
Yeah, it is.
I would say, consider your options. What options do you have? I think if you want to do it, then go ahead and do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's it. If you love woodworking, just go ahead and do it. There's no reason why you shouldn't do it. Um, but at the same time, I would let you know that it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. So you either have to really want it, or you really have to like. You can save tons of money if you do your own woodworking. Like, you can build your bed, you
Yeah.
can build a table, you can build the shelving. I
You
mean, like
can build
I
tools.
didn't even buy the hardware to hang my TVs, because I made it out of wood, and it's solid, more solid than the hardware from the stores.
Yeah.
And like I think the biggest take for me was the mental health, because like I wanted to keep myself busy while I was taking care of Max.
Yeah, because like
So
right now that we're in quarantine, for you it's like nothing. Because
Oh,
for
yeah.
3 years you've been in quarantine.
right,
So
as a
you
stay-home
couldn't.
dad.
Yeah.
So
you,
welcome to my quarantine, everybody. Thank you for joining me. So, but like,
every stay-home parent in the world ever.
you're
Nothing
right,
has
they
changed.
understand me. If you're single, you don't know, you don't understand the pain. The struggle is real, man. Okay, so but like think about it, because like you're gonna get dust on your stuff. If you really want to do it, don't make excuses. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. I think
Yep.
that's everything that we think you may want to consider or might need to know. It's a trip. You know, it's amazing. It's interesting. We're gonna have a lot more work, whether it's going to be with the woodworking or talking about the tools. And I have a lot of fun doing this stuff. I really do. I think like. Do you enjoy the fact that I do woodworking?
Yeah, I like the toys that you make, and you actually made me and my mom like hairpins.
Oh, the turtles.
Yeah, and we decorated them, and my little brother wanted to decorate them, so he scribbled on them with
Right.
crayon
So
like a week after.
so it was
Huh.
it's a sea turtle. Well, I guess all turtles are from.
Well, yeah, turtles are from the ocean.
Right.
Tortoises
So it was a turtle, and it was made out of wood, similar to this one.
I think he
And
made it out of
and yeah, it might have been the same wood. And then the head is kind of like a spoon, where
Yeah.
it's oval, and then it has the trunk. So you would put the turtle in your hair,
And then put it
and
in
then
as
put
if it was like
the
a
pin
ponytail.
as a hairpin.
like that, and then just.
And the funny thing is, I knew how to put it on, and these girls didn't know how to put it on. I had to show
You
them.
made it. You
I had
made
to
it.
show them how to use a hairpin.
I don't use
Oh
hairpins.
my!
I use hair ties and like the weird black things that just you stick in your hand and it's like a cute hairdo. But those always cause me trouble. They're always hurting my hair.
Don't forget, hit the like button.
It would.
And if you want to see more of the stuff that we're coming up with, then
Subscribe and then hit the little bell to get notified whenever he posts.
that's it. That's it. Check us out in For My Vanity on Facebook. And you can also find us at Relax Home Services if you want to look at our other page. And we'll see you around. That's it. Bye.
Bye.